UndergroundVideoNetwork.com presents the We Talk Too Much podcast.
This is where the fun begins.
Comic books, superheroes, sci-fi, gaming, and everything nerdy.
That's it. This is just too weird.
Now, here's your host of the We Talk Too Much podcast, Mike and Richard.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of Underground Video Network's Behind the Counter. I'm Mike Boroff.
I'm Rich Catterjohn.
And I'm sorry.
And we are joined today by good friend of the show, Rodney Fyke of Hazzum Productions. Rodney, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Really good, man. This is the first chance we've gotten to see you since pandemic 2020.
Yes.
I think it was your last Kickstarter. You came on for Roadkill, didn't you?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Yep.
And I tell you what, the pandemic didn't stop us. It kind of shifted us into high gear.
That's what I wanted to ask, because a lot of people, a lot of people's jobs were affected, but being a creator and everything, where you're really able to work from home, it kind of might have been like a mixed blessing for you, right?
Yeah, it actually was. And the funny thing is I do have a job, but I can basically work it whenever I want because it's technically a part-time job. But during the pandemic, we were considered essential. So I was working 5 days a week and I was getting hazard pay. Hazard pay only lasted 2 weeks, but we worked through the entire pandemic. And then the good thing about the pandemic for us was we had to create an online presence, which we had zero of before. Because we had new product, we had new stuff. We were prepping to get ready to start the new con season in 20, and had all this money sunk into all of this stuff and nowhere to go. And so we just started doing, what we do, and kind of paired everything with Sean and Stephanie Forney and created the Thursday night, Friday night draw thing, and just went from there.
Mm-hmm. The pandemic really shifted a lot of perspectives about like creators and everything, that a lot of their income and a lot of their market was in person.
Yeah.
And it really, like you said, it really made people reevaluate and rethink the way that they put themselves out there and promote themselves and their work.
Yeah. The interesting thing to me is that people that were aware of us, they came at the beginning and watched to see what was going on. But the new people that didn't know we existed and that have stuck around and have become really good friends. They seem to be the ones that are the consistent commission buyers, the consistent people that tune in to the shows on Thursdays and Fridays and the morning draws. But those are true blue fans. They're not just, Joey Bag of Donuts with mom and the kids walking through the con that might throw a $20 bill on your table at a show. And, these are the true fans. So that's been kind of cool.
And it's a good thing too, because like you said, a lot of the fans, they took cons for granted, where it's like, I know this con is coming up. I know this con is coming up. I'm going to see this person there. I'm going to see them here. I'm going to see this person there. I'll be able to touch base with them at those shows. And outside of the shows, very little contact. They might like a Facebook page or an Instagram post or something like that.
Yeah.
But without the in-person cons, it really made people have to find the people that they support.
Yeah. Yeah. It forces them to search you out, which is good.
Well, even the conventions went online. We started doing streaming like of Gem City and
Yeah.
the Champion City and stuff like that. And you guys got a chance to showcase your artwork even on those. So
It's funny that you mentioned Gem City because I was in the room when that discussion was going on about can we do the online convention, and Amanda was involved. And that's really kind of what introduced us to StreamYard, and we kind of threw that together really, really quickly and made it happen. And that was kind of our indoctrination into the online thing, and podcasting and stuff. And now it's shoot, we do it 2 nights a week and 5 days, Monday through Friday in the mornings if I'm not driving. So yeah. It's become old hat now.
And one of the nice things about it is it really does broaden your reach, because there might be people on the West Coast who might not ever have been able to come to Ohio to go to Gem City or any of the other cons.
Yeah.
Having those online shows really did broaden the horizons of, even like local shows and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, even at the last Gem City, we had people in from Europe and stuff on the show or on the convention panel or whichever. So I thought that was really cool. It kind of went a little bit international for a couple panels.
Yeah, which is nice. When you can stretch your tentacles that far out and reach people, that's great.
But there's also another source that you really started up with, Kickstarter, correct?
Oh yeah, the beautiful world of Kickstarter. I think it's right place at the right time. It's been around for a while, but the pandemic really, for people who, had the foresight to realize, hey, this could really sustain us. And now that we've done it, now we're into our second one now, it's making all the mistakes and everything and learning everything we learned with the first one. The second one's gone a lot smoother. But it's now become something that everybody just, okay, so for the next issue, let's start putting together stuff and putting started stuff for that Kickstarter. It's just a foregone conclusion that we're going to do a Kickstarter for every issue, which is nice. The big bugaboo back when I was doing comics in the 90s was, where are we going to get the money for our print run, especially if we do it in color? And now we do a Kickstarter just for the printing cost. If I'm writing it and I'm drawing it, the overhead's minimal. So, but yeah, it just affords so many people the opportunity to do so much more and get out there more, which is great.
That is another thing about the pandemic, was it took all these things that we took for granted and that a lot of people really didn't capitalize on, stuff like Kickstarter and Zoom and StreamYard. That stuff has been around for a while, but nobody really had the need for it, But once everybody started quarantining, all these technologies that were already there suddenly came to the forefront and were really used brilliantly, like you guys with the StreamYard and your daily and weekly shows.
Yeah, it's been a godsend. It really has. I know I keep saying that, but it's so true. It really, it could have been disastrous for us, but we got online and started doing what we're doing, and I'm getting commissions all the time now where I wasn't getting them at, maybe a few at a show. You're not doing. We were at a point where we were doing shows every week, but that only lasted like 3 years because the demand on the body, and, Tina having a full-time job and me having that part-time job. It's just, if I was still in my 20s, maybe in my 30s, but it takes its toll.
And I got to imagine for you do a lot of really great commission work that you had mentioned. It's probably beneficial because, we've known each other through Gem City and other cons for the last few years. And, whenever we go to a show and Rodney's there, we got to stop by and say hi to Rodney. Got to talk to him. And you are always right there, usually working on some commission. You know, you're always active. You're always busy.
Yeah.
And I can imagine now, especially that you're getting more commission work online, it's got to be a little bit of a weight off your shoulder because you don't have to focus right then and there during the show working on the commission that you just got. You know, it's like somebody comes to you for a commission, like, yep, I'll get right on it. Let me go make a grilled cheese sandwich first real quick.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, the funny thing is I do the commissions online too. So whatever I'm working on in the mornings, I stream Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock. They're always commissions.
Mm-hmm.
So the one gentleman who's been giving me one commission after the next, which I'm very grateful for. He just comes on and he kind of hangs out with me and we chat back and forth about it. I did a Batman Who Laughs, and I've done a Power Ranger and something else. But yeah, and people just come on and watch you do it, and then I get emails from people, or I'll get a message through Facebook or Instagram. Hey, can I get you to do this? I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that works.
Yeah.
So now you got a new Kickstarter you just kicked off like this week, right?
Yeah, we kicked it off on Wednesday, the 7th. Yes.
Okay, I'll bring it up.
All right.
Could you tell us a little bit about it?
All right. So this time around, we've gone from the adult-themed horror to the light and fluffy comedic timings of Pitter Patter, Buddy and Dude, our two house cats. The Pitter Patter is about the two house cats, Buddy and Dude, and their adventures in the house. And they're both from different sides of the track. So every time they encounter a situation or anything like that, they encounter it from differing points of view. So you kind of get that Abbott and Costello back and forth. Heavily influenced by Looney Tunes. Grew up on Looney Tunes, love Looney Tunes. Abbott and Costello, Lewis and Martin, all the great comedy teams. And yes, I wanted to use the bright, vibrant colors and the goofy smiles and just the over-the-top expressions with the faces and stuff. And it's funny because if you look at issue 1 and you look at issue 2, you can see the evolution of the characters. Which, you know, I mean, and you can do that with Bugs Bunny. You know, if you look at him over the years, or Mickey Mouse, they're constantly evolving. So that's been the cool part for me, because in my mind, it's always, okay, what's the most efficient way to draw this? What's the funnest way to draw it? And, you know, for me, the gray cat is really quick. I learned to draw him really quick, and he was really easy. But the orange cat, Dude, he took a little more work with those ears and fluff on his face and all that stuff. So yeah, but if you're a fan of the old Looney Tunes and of comedic timing and just funny, goofy, lighthearted stuff, then this is going to be right up your alley. And in this Kickstarter, you're not just getting issue 1, but you get issue 1 and 2. And we're going to have backup stories in issue 1 done by Sean Forney. I wrote it, and Sean's penciling it, and then I'm inking it and coloring it. And then in issue 3, let's see, I did the backup story in issue 2. And then in issue 3, we got Nate Lovett that is going to be doing a story in issue 3. And we decided with the backup stories, because the characters and the universe have just expanded so much, that we just decided we're going to try to put a backup story in each issue so we can introduce everybody to all the characters that are floating around in the universe. But anyway, back to the Kickstarter. Let's go ahead and play the video, I guess, and let everybody take a listen.
Hi, I'm Buddy. And I'm Dave. And I'm and I'm Rodney, creator, artist, and writer. And welcome to the world of Pitter Patter. Scribbling the adventures of these two sometimes lovable cats, I'm I'm very excited to not only be offering issue 1, but issue 2 as well. That's right. The first 2 issues of Pitter are available through our Kickstarter for you to join us. The books center around our 2 harebrained cats, Buddy and Dude, cats from different sides of the tracks, and how they traverse the choppy waters that are their lives around the house, yard, and other dark and dangerous places beyond the door. But wait, that's not all. If you act now, you can get your grubby little paws on all of the shiny, pretty things we have to offer. The goods are aplenty: pins, variant covers, stickers, trading cards, and more. Simply scroll down below and check out all the rewards, add-ons, and stretch goals. If you have a cat, love a cat, know a cat, or even hate cats, these books are going to be right up your alley. So come on, follow along and enjoy the ride. And thank you all for checking out the world of Pitter Patter and for supporting our Kickstarter. For Buddy and Dude, this is Rodney Fyke saying, so long, everybody.
Hey.
That's great.
Cool. Thank you. It was fun to do.
I gotta. Where did the inspiration for the book Pitter Patter come from? Was it one of those things where it was just like observational, where you saw a little different kind of like life scenarios and thought it'd be funny? And
yes, that's part of it. But the main genesis of it is that our studio is in the basement, and so. And when I was first here, I'm very highly allergic to cats, so I wouldn't let the cats come downstairs. This was my domain. No cat was allowed to cross the threshold. So I spent all day long listening to the cats run around upstairs. And we foster cats, and we do hospice cats. So we have constantly, anywhere from, we have 3 of our own cats, but sometimes we have as many as 7 or 8. And you just listen to them, the pitter patter of their feet, when they go through their zoomies and all the crazy things that cats do.
mm-hmm.
I would just sit down here and chuckle at it, because to me it just sounded cute, and that's just kind of where it all came from. And then we got Sherman, our little white cat, and he's just I never had a pet growing up because I was allergic, and my mom just wasn't big on pets. So, and I wasn't really a cat person, which is kind of funny because now I love him, but he's my little right-hand man, and he is just the most affectionate cat. And he sleeps with us every night, and he sleeps curled up in my breadbasket or on my hip. So, and just, he's not like a regular cat. He'll talk to you, and he'll do what you tell him to do. And just, me not ever having a pet before and watching and observing the silly things that he does. He'll hop up in the sink and wants you to turn the water on. He takes his head under the water and lets it rub back and forth on his ears and stuff. And I was just so blown away by that because, I was growing up, I've always told that cats hate water. So, yeah, it's just the observational thing that you mentioned earlier, and just listening to them, upstairs. Of course, now they're all allowed back down here into the studio because I have the allergies under control with Allegra and antihistamine. So, but yeah, that's where it came from. And just I've got the voices talking to me all the time, from whether it's Buddy and Dude or whether it's Peanut Pudding and Jelly or the characters from Roadkill Rampage, other characters that I have that I've never seen the light of day, and they talk to me. So I'll walk around the house and I do dialogue, and Tina asks me all the time, are they talking to you, or are you talking to me? And it's just what I always do. So, and that's how they come to me. That's how they all come to me. I'm weird.
Now, as a fan of Roadkill Rampage, that actually kind of concerns me, Rodney. Are you okay? Because I'm a huge fan of Peanut Pudding and Jelly, and that's okay. I can see the silliness of that, but I've read Roadkill Rampage, and that one kind of worries me.
Wait till you read issue 2.
Oh, can't wait. So for Pitter Patter with the characters, you'd mentioned, the broadening universe of the stories. Do you find yourself constantly working ahead? Like, do you see the future of the characters like 3, 4, 5 issues down, or is it more of a issue 3 we'll sit down and work on, issue 4 we'll sit down and work on, or do you have a broad idea of where the characters are headed?
I do have a broad idea of where they're headed. The problem that I have is when I sit down to write, other characters start talking to me. So I keep adding, it keeps growing and keeps growing, and I have to rein myself in. And, Tina will come home from work and she'll be like, "Did you get that story written?" And I'll say, "Yeah, but I got a side story written as well." She's like, "What are you talking about? You got to concentrate on this." So yes, the overall broad view of what's going on and where they're going is, I have it in my head, and I've got some of it written down. But yeah, the other characters that exist in the house with the 2 cats and outside of the house will all be revealed in the next few issues.
Cool.
So keep reading.
I think Mike froze up.
Awesome.
He did too. Yeah, he's a little choppy there.
There he goes.
I gotta ask.
Go.
Did I freeze up? You guys look like you froze up. It might
No,
be on my end.
You froze up.
Yeah.
But I gotta ask. Oh, okay. I gotta ask: is there any possibility of a crossover between the characters of Pitter Patter and Roadkill Rampage, even if it's just like a little, like off panel? You might see a more stylized version of them in the background.
It's actually, I was on a podcast the other night, and that question was brought up. And it's funny because I'd never thought of that before, and which I'm surprised I never did. But now that it's been mentioned, probably, I can see me working that in. They'll be the 2 that got away.
Oh yeah. They're off in the background pointing at each other like, "Hey, what watch this."
Just stay off the road. We'll be okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I noticed you got a bunch of different offer or packages and stuff like that, because I went with your early bird special. So.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, that's a good deal. The first 2 issues.
Yeah.
Which is, for those listening or watching this later, that is good through midnight tomorrow, Sunday night. You get the first 2 issues for $12. So yeah. There are all kinds of packages available. There's the early bird package that Richard brought up. Excuse me. There's the retro packages, the variant packages. The retro pack is my pack with my homage cover with the ode to Batman and Robin #9 from 1942. So it's Pitter Patter dressed up as Batman and Robin. And then Sean Forney's variant cover is Kitty, somebody you'll be meeting in issue 3 with the boys. And then Nate Lovett, he does his version of issue 2 for his variant cover. And then we've got trading cards. I keep wanting to call them baseball cards. Trading cards. We've got some really cool stickers. We've got a really nice enamel pen.
Oops. Sorry.
There we go. Then we've got the backer goals. The backer reward for the 50 backers, you get the free Scarlet Hunters PDF, which we hit 27 backers today, so we're a little more than halfway there. The 100 backers, you get an extra trading card, so you'd get 3 of them. And Then 150, you get that awesome yoga cat sticker, or yeah, that's a sticker. So yeah. And then Chippy the squirrel is our window clean. So you'll get to meet Chippy the squirrel in issue 2.
I know from personal experience, you guys are really good about rewarding your backers, because when I helped back your Kickstarter for Roadkill Rampage, when I got that package in the mail, I was just like, it was like that magician that was like pulling out, the endless scarf. I was just like, yes. Oh, yes. Like, yes. Yeah, you are very good at the rewards for the backing of the Kickstarter. For people watching and or listening, believe me, you are well rewarded from Hazzum Productions. I still there's hardly a day that goes by where I don't bump into something that has Roadkill Rampage on it around my house, just because there was so much stuff, and like the coasters and all that.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the best things about a Kickstarter for comics is you're not just getting the comic. You're going to get a whole bag of goodies, and more likely than not, we're going to throw extras in like we did with you, just because we can and we do, and it's just that little extra thank you to the fans for the support, because without the people putting their faith in us and giving us a little chunk of their change, there wouldn't be a Roadkill Rampage and there wouldn't be a Pitter Patter. So yeah, it's just our own special little way of giving everybody an extra thank you.
And I appreciate it.
As do we. So there we go. Yeah. And you guys,
what was it like for you, Ron?
I'm sorry, you guys.
Oh, no, go.
We've known each other for 10 years, and you guys have seen us work at the table. We're very open and friendly people, and one of my rules at a show is, if I see, I have an older brother that's mentally disabled, so if I see a mother with a child that is mentally disabled or something like that, it's a rule that I always go up and I give them something free. I'll give them a free Captain America print or Wonder Woman print or something like that. It's just, this is a career of joy, a career of passions, and bringing smiles to kids' faces, or your guys' faces, that's just icing on the cake for us. So anything we can do to help facilitate that, if it's affordable, if it's something we can do, we're going to do it, and we will do it. So,
and that's wonderful, because that's one of the things about you that I've always really respected is your broad creativity, where you have books like Peanut Pudding and Jelly, but you also have, Roadkill Rampage. So it's not like being pigeonholed into one genre. You have something for everyone.
Yeah.
Do you find it kind of hard to switch gears mentally when you go from like one idea for, the more kid-friendly books to the more adult-centric books?
No, I don't. And I, at the risk of sounding arrogant, no. I can pretty much switch gears on a dime. I've got a lot of superhero stuff up here too that I can't draw, and I have yet to be able to find somebody to draw for us that we can afford. And those characters talk to me constantly. I have notebooks over on that shelf of a whole superhero universe that I've been creating over the last 15 years. So there's that talking to me as well. So it's not hard for me to switch gears. It's hard for me to sleep at night because I can't shut it all off.
I know that feeling.
Yes, Ambien was my friend for quite a while, and then I had to stop doing that because that's just not good for you.
So where did this project lead to then? I mean, are you got more plans for these characters? Like you said, issue 3, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there will be. I mean, I can foresee because each issue is going to be self-contained, but it's like, you sat down on a Saturday morning and watched Looney Tunes. It was on for either a half hour, or it was on for an hour, and if you watched it for a half hour, you knew you were going to get three episodes, and you're going to get 6 episodes in an hour. But they weren't really related. This one you got Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. This one you got Foghorn Leghorn and Chicken Hawk. That's kind of what I'm shooting for. The main characters are always going to be Buddy and Dude, but we're bringing in a whole cast of characters. I have a whole syndicate of mafia mice that live within the walls of the houses.
I'm sold right there on Mafia Mice. I'm sold right there on just those 2 words.
And then the outside world, we have the Rat Bastards, who are the motorcycle gang that ride around on big wheels. So you'll be seeing them in issue 3. And then there's a female cat that we'll be introducing in issue 3 as well. And yeah, so it's if I had to stop right now and not write anything else, I would probably have 5 issues that I could get done, stuff that I just have written down right now.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. So as long as we can keep producing it and keep getting the Kickstarters funded and stuff, we're going to keep doing it.
And now, I was just saying, now you also will have the live conventions again, so that'll help out too.
Yeah. And I've done 2 live conventions. We did Huntington, West Virginia, and then we did Anime Ohio a couple weeks ago here in Cincinnati, and that was really, really good. I was really surprised how good that was. But I didn't have anything anime. I just sold books, and people are. In the 2 shows that we've done, that's the thing that we've noticed is people are hungry for independent comics.
Yeah.
Nobody was asking anything about Marvel or DC, because typically you'll get people come up and go, "Do you draw Batman or Superman or anything like that?" Everybody's like, "Ooh, are these your books? Can you tell me about them?" And like almost every person that stopped at the table, they wanted to know about our books. So that's great.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that at anime shows, the fans want creator owned stuff. They don't care about the Marvel DC stuff. They're really into that. I've been going to a few animes for the last 5-6 years. And that's what I noticed.
Yeah, we're probably going to be going to a few more anime shows, just because I think what we do is appealing to the kids. So that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole nother generation then too,
Yeah. And then, that's something that we were talking about driving home from Huntington is what's happened is the generation has flipped. You got the people that are our age that grew up reading Superman and Batman and the Avengers and Iron Man and whatever we read. And now you have the kids that are 30 and under that grew up on anime. So anime is their Batman and their Superman and their Spider-Man. So that's what they have a thirst for. And they're not interested in the big 2. They're really not. So you have to make sure that you have product that they're going to like. So that's what we're trying to do. Something that appeals to everybody.
And I think that was another thing about the pandemic is in the early stages, when the future of the comic book industry was really kind of in question. And I mean, it still is right now, especially with the big 2. Mm-hmm. A lot of people weren't able to go to their comic book store and, pick up the big books. So they were kind of forced to, like we talked about with your Kickstarter, to go online and search for all this creator created content.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that, was probably another thing that's kind of really helped out independent creators was, like you said, the people that go to the anime conventions, they have a thirst for these stories. And without a place like a comic book convention or the comic book store, these are the generation that will actively seek things out.
Yeah, and that's true. And the funny thing is the people that we interact with online are all independent comic creators. There are a handful of guys that work for the big two that I'm friends with, but those aren't everyday conversations. They're comment on a illustration here or something there. But I mean, I've made friends with people in New York and California and Tennessee and Florida and Toronto, all over the pandemic and we all do independent books. So yeah, it's been great.
What's one thing I've noticed from going to comic book conventions? Oh no, go ahead, Rich.
No, Mike, go ahead. You was going. I think there's a lag with you.
I was just it might be the Wi-Fi around here, but that's one of the things I've really noticed, and I really appreciate from going to comic book conventions all these years and meeting people like you and Sean and so many others. Is it really is like a tight-knit family where there doesn't seem to be a lot of unhealthy competition. Usually whenever we talk to somebody like you'll mention Sean Forney, or if we talk to Sean, he'll mention this people. There's a great sense of community.
Yeah.
Especially in our local area, here in Ohio, that it just seems like whenever somebody has an idea, they're not afraid to reach out to somebody else with the ideas. Like, is there anything that you could add or anything that you might change or anything about it? They're not so secretive, and it's not like they're protecting themselves. They don't feel the need to have to protect themselves. It's like a great sense of community.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, even like in Columbus, you've got Victor Dandridge and Mike Watson and all the guys up there, Sean, Stephanie Forney, Nate Lovett. I mean, it's just and Sean and I did a book together over the winter for a guy out in California, the Power Ninja Tunes. And that was when we realized that we made a pretty good team, because I wrote the book based on a real short outline that the guy gave us. I wrote the book and Sean penciled it. I inked it and Sean colored it. And the end product is gorgeous. And we did it in 6 weeks, which was really impressive. Then we had to go back, and there were some legal issues. We had to go back and change some costumes here and there. But the books finally came out. We got them in our hands, and it's like, oh wow! Because I was on a podcast the other night, and he was asking what else I had worked on, and I completely forgot about the Power Ninja Tunes. And it's just like, oh yeah, I've got that under my belt too. So not only is creator-owned stuff, Sean and I both worked on somebody else's property that we brought to life for him. So that was fun.
And speaking of the community, I'm looking for a letter. So if anybody wants to private message me, I'm looking for a letter for a book that I'm working on. So sorry, I had to plug that.
No, that's fine. I got a guy. His name is Dave Lentz, Lentz.
Yeah, I think Tina shared that with me. So
yeah, he letters our stuff.
I got a 6-pager for an anthology that I need a letter, and I was going to try to do it myself, but I'm kind of nervous about doing it myself.
Okay. He'd probably do it. He's got very reasonable rates. He's doing a lot of stuff for Source Point Press right now. But yeah, shoot him a message and drop mine and Tina's name.
Okay.
And he's really quick too. He usually sends me two pages a day for approval.
Cool.
And actually this morning I just got the final page for issue 2. So it is really done. That's the thing.
Wow.
The thing about this Kickstarter is that issues 1 and 2 are done. We've got the $1,500 backer goal. If we reach $1,500, we're going to insert Sean's 6-page story in the back of issue 1. That is currently penciled. So when we get to that, we're going to ink it. I'm going to ink it and color it. And 6 pages, I can ink and color that, under 2 weeks. So that's the point is you're not going to be waiting 8 months to get these books because they're pretty much done.
Wow.
Well, see,
Well, I was saying that's pretty cool to have it already prepared ahead of time, because I know some people runs and snags. Sometimes they have a concept, they do a Kickstarter so they can pay an artist or something, and then it gets hanged up in the production run, and they don't get it even out for like a year or so.
No. We do it the opposite. We find the artist, and we have the funds to pay the artist, and we pretty much get the book done. When I say done, I mean written, pencils, and inks before we even entertain the thought of a Kickstarter.
Oh, that's cool, because like I said, I remember back in the early days of Kickstarter, a lot of people was doing it that way. And I just don't think that really worked back then. I think everybody learned their lessons,
Well, it's hard to find. If you can find an artist that is reliable, and I'm not going to say much else because I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth. But it's hard to find consistent artists. I mean, I can't draw everything, and like the superhero stuff that I've got in my head, I could probably draw it, but it's not going to look the way I want it to look. So I've always got my eye out for that artist. And we had him, but he didn't work out. So I got 6 pages of a story that wasn't really what I wrote. And now he's working for Warner Brothers. So story of my life.
Well, at least I got a book out of you, a small one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
We collaborated on that little one, and I rebundled that. I took 2 of my other little minis and made them together as a paperclip collection, and I'm going to put it together like that if I ever get back to shows myself, because I'm looking at a show or 2 myself, because my new job, I get the weekends off, so I like that.
Oh, that's great. Get them all ready for Gem City.
I'm not setting up, but I think I might be hanging around like Twilight Star Studio, because that's the book I'm working with. So
excellent. Man, I can't wait to see everybody, because the show that we did in West Virginia was there were a few people there that we knew, but not our local people. So I can't wait to be able to mingle with the local people.
Well, me and Richard talked about it. Unfortunately, I guess I'll make the announcement now, and I'll tell you. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make Gem City this year.
Oh,
it's heartbreaking, because me and Richard had been planning on it for a while. I'm trying to keep it under wraps, but a couple weeks ago I had a small accident, and I kind of messed a tooth up.
Okay.
And yeah, it was pretty gnarly. This was just a couple weeks ago, and luckily, like when I'm at work, for those of you who are listening, believe me, you're not missing anything. This is Roadkill Rampage, the oral edition. But I had a small accident, and I had messed up a couple teeth, and I'm in the process right now of having the surgery and everything done to take care of it. And unfortunately, the first available surgery was going to be on the 22nd. And they're telling me that I'm going to need because there's going to be so much work done. It's going to take me a few days to gauze up and recover.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if anybody's ever had anything like Richard, you had we talked about it, you had bridge work done and wisdom teeth, it takes a little while, especially when, your main function, when going to a con is talking to people. Yeah. And I really think even if, I was to wear a mask, part of the time like this, with probably drooling blood and everything is not going to be good for anybody. But
No.
it was just one of those things where I had to have it taken care of as soon as possible, and unfortunately, it just coincided with Gem City, and it absolutely breaks my heart.
Well, the good thing is that you're okay, and you can come down to Cincinnati and see us in September.
Yes. And I'll have a bright, shiny new grill. I'll be all smiles that entire day too.
Sweet. We'll make sure we get pictures with big smiles.
And even though I can't be there, me and Richard have talked about it for years. Gem City is not the only, but like the highest. It's like one of the number one shows that I always recommend and promote to people, because it's, even after all these years and after going from different places where it was set up, that's the one that it's always felt like home.
Yeah.
That's the one where I've met most of, if not almost all of the people like you that I consider friends. That's the why I always really promote Gem City. It's like the con next door.
Yeah.
It's like the big city con with the con next door feel to it.
Yeah, and it's in your backyard, so that makes it even sweeter.
I think the thing that Gem City has always had going for it has always been a comic book convention.
Yeah. Yeah. It was always a smaller version of Mid Ohio Con.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
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 We used to even table there a few years there back in the, what was it, around 2009, 10, something like that. We had a table a few times, and then I decided to just let the creators have it because I really didn't have that much stuff out. So we just showed up and videotaped, and I think we've been in almost every one from 2008 on. So
Yeah. I think for us, Richard, it was a nice idea to have a table, but when the center of your creator concept is, showing video of comic book conventions, the idea of being saddled behind a table was kind of like counterproductive.
Oh yeah, it's funny that you say that, because we were talking about that with San Diego. It's detrimental to have a table, because, especially in Artist Alley, because they come and they check every hour to make sure you're at your table.
Man.
Yeah, and if you've ever been to San Diego, you're not getting to one side of the convention and back in an hour. It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a business meeting with somebody or something like that, somebody's autograph that you want to get, being saddled with a table is not good.
Yeah.
We did it 3 years in a row. We had a table 1 year, and after that we were like, never again. Because we had meetings set up, and we had to be up on the third floor at 4 o'clock and down here at 1 o'clock, and there was no way. So when we had the table, it was 2 guys stay, 2 guys go, and you guys get back, and then you guys can go.
oh wow.
Yeah, and it's unless you're in a different part of the convention, like the small press booths and stuff like that, that's a little more manageable. But Artist Alley, no, because it's way at the far end, and you have to traverse all the way up and all the way back, and it's you're packed in like sardines in there, so there's no getting anywhere quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like when you book a flight on one side of the airport and you have to be the other side of the airport in 20 minutes to take off.
That's right. That's right.
And God forbid you want to stop at Auntie M's to get a pretzel. Ain't going to happen. No, you got to go from here to here. It's You're done.
Yeah, and you're parked over there, and then you have to be over there in 12 minutes when your flight's taking off.
Yeah.
Done that a few times.
So are you going to have any other projects after this Kickstarter, or are you looking to the future, like you said, a few issues, but
yeah, we're gonna flip-flop back and forth between Pitter Patter and Roadkill Rampage.
Okay.
And so we'll do, and actually, we kind of laugh about it because us and the Forneys we kind of flip flop Kickstarters. So we're doing Pitter Patter now, and they'll do probably another Scarlet Huntress, and then when they're done with that Scarlet Huntress, we should be ready to do issue 2 for Kickstarter for Roadkill Rampage, and run that, and then just
Okay. I just had to get some more info out of you for the future. I want to look forward to,
Yeah, there's and who knows what's going to come between now and then, because if I ever find the right superhero artist, I want to do this book because it's really been pulling at me for a long time. I've got the first 2 issues written out and thumbnailed out. So yeah, there's always stuff coming. And it's like the Power Ninja Tunes thing that came out of left field. So that that was a whole book we got done in less than 3 months. And then I inked some pages for helped Sean out on a tight deadline for Do You Poo, the book that he does with Marat Michaels. I helped him. I inked 4 pages for that. And there's always stuff like that pops up, So, and I kind of actively have pursued other inking jobs and other writing jobs as well. I'm open for writing. I love to write. So, if you know anybody that needs a writer, let me know.
Well, let me ask you, Rodney.
No, go, Mike.
Oh, I was gonna, because you had mentioned earlier that you weren't well versed in Kickstarter when you first started everything. Was getting your feet wet. The growing pains. Especially smaller shows like Space, where you introduced smaller creators. Is there any advice that you can give to somebody out there that maybe where you were at a few years ago, that are looking to get into the business of creating comic books and getting their work out there?
I think the biggest thing that I would say to somebody is follow your passion and don't let anybody tell you it can't be done and that what you're doing is wrong, because there is no right or wrong way to do a comic book. Just like there's no right or wrong way to make a pizza. Everybody likes different ingredients on a pizza. Everybody likes different things in comics. And I'm a perfect example. I've got cartoony stuff. I've got adult horror stuff. I've got superhero stuff that I've done and I want to do again. And all 3 of those different genres are all 3 done in different ways. I've done ash cans and sold ash cans at shows. And high level polished books, they all sell because people aren't looking for the same thing every time. Different people have different tastes. So, I follow your passion. If it's something that you believe in, when I was doing Superior 7 back in the 90s, nobody could tell me I wasn't going to be successful at it, because I went to New York in 90 and met a bunch of guys that were working for Marvel and DC, and we were all the same age. And the only thing that was different between them and me was they were on that side of the table and I was on this side of the table. And I was working on, I had issue 1 done, working on issue 2, but didn't know how to get it out there. So I met a guy that he schooled us on it, how to do it. And have been eternally grateful to him ever since. And so I like to pay that forward. I am constantly giving young kids, young adults advice on believe in yourself, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it, because you can. It's not rocket science. You know, it's a passion, you know, and if you want it bad enough, you're going to make it happen. And, you know, like I said, I say it's not rocket science because what I mean by that is it's not hard. If you're not the artist, it's hard to find an artist that's going to recognize your vision and bring your vision to life. That's the hardest part. But just keep at it. I mean, just go to shows and look and talk to people, and you know, now with the internet, you know, you just talk to people, and that's the biggest thing is talking to people, because you never know when you're gonna, if this person that you're getting ready to talk to is going to be your new best friend or what, you know. But get yourself out there, take all the advice in, you know, shuffle through it, process it, apply what applies to you, and stuff that doesn't apply to you, let it go, and keep moving forward and doing what you do. Don't let anybody deter you from your dream.
I still remember when I walked up to you and asked you to do that little 8-pager for me.
Yeah.
Because I had someone else lined up, and then he had other things happen. So I said, and we were talking, I think it was down at that independent comic creators show in like Dayton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I walked up to ICE. I just walked up to you, and we just started talking. All of a sudden I said something about, well, I'm looking for another artist, and you said, oh, okay. So you took a look at it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, you know. Don't be afraid to ask, because that was the thing that blew me away in New York City was, you know, they had, because back then you had to live in New York to work for Marvel or DC. So they all had the advantage of being born and grown up there, you know. It's just that really opened my eyes to the fact that this isn't some magical kingdom that I have to find a secret passage to get into. You can do it in Cincinnati, and we did it. And we got into Diamond, and we were internationally distributed. I've got comic books on 5 continents. You know, and this was all pre-internet, you know. And it's funny because I listen to a lot of people brag about being accepted in Diamond now. And just kind of like, I did that 30 years ago without the internet. So I'm old. That's what that tells you.
You're not that old.
You kids and your internet. Boy, when I was your age, if we wanted a comic book produced, we had to walk uphill both miles in the snow to get it to the distributor.
That's right. If you remember back then, there were 15 distributors.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, and you had to send your packet to all 15 distributors. Diamond being the biggest one, and then you sat and you waited for all your orders to come in the mail. And so, you know, Diamond, we got 2,200 from Diamond. We got 300 from Friendly Franks. We got 1,000 from Moondogs in Chicago. You know, and you just wait for them to come in and you tally it all up, and you go find yourself a printer and have them printed, and Diamond picks them up, distributes them, you know. It's a whole different ball of wax back then.
Yeah, I remember from the comic book store owner side, you know, they really had they could pick and choose on what they really could do and stuff back then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird to think about. I was trying to remember all the distributors back then. I could only remember about half of them. But we used Associated Press, which was up in Quebec. They printed issues 1 and 2 of Superior 7, and then we found Brenner Printing, which is in Texas, which was a lot cheaper. They printed 3, 4, and 5 for us. But yeah, we just word of mouth, going to shows and talking to people. Oh, we use Brenner. They're a lot cheaper. So we gave Brenner a phone call and said, yeah, we could do it for this much. Okay.
Well, Rodney, it was an absolute joy having you on the show. It was great seeing you. I missed you guys, you and Tina, so much, and seeing your posts and everything on like Facebook and Instagram. It still wasn't enough. I loved seeing all the live drawings and everything that you guys did. We know you're going to be coming up to Gem City here really soon.
Yep,
for anybody who's watching and or listening, where can they find everything that you're doing right now?
Okay, let's see. I am on Facebook. My personal page is Rodney Fyke on Facebook. I have the Art of Rodney Fyke as well on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Rodney_Fyke on Instagram. Twitch. We broadcast the streams on Twitch and on the Art of Rodney Fyke, and then the Hazzum YouTube channel. So all the streams go there. So all the streams that we've done, whether it be Thursday night, Throwdown, Friday Night Draw, or the morning stream that I do, they're all on the YouTube channel. Go back and watch any of them if you'd like. So that's where we're at. And then we have the Kickstarter going. We're 4 days in. We're under $100 to get completely funded. So we're pretty excited about that.
Wow.
So go check it out, Pitter Patter on Kickstarter. And if you're a fan of goofy, funny, silly characters and comedic duos and bright, shiny colors and goofy cats, this is the book for you. And it's very similar to Looney Tunes. It's kind of got adult humor in it, but the kids love it too. The kids will love it too.
Well, again, thank you so much for joining us, Rodney. It was great seeing you. Miss you guys so much. I can't wait till I get a chance to see you and Tina in person, and buy more of your stuff to hang on my walls.
Excellent.
Rich, anything else to add before we go?
No, it seems like we covered most of the ground. Is there anything else you want to say, Rodney?
Who did the artwork on your Fantastic Four shirt? Is that Byrne?
No, it looks like BB Sem, I think.
Oh, okay, that works.
I think.
Oh yeah, that's Buscema.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I had to look. I forgot. It was an Amazon birthday special.
There you go. There we go. All right, that's awesome. I want to say thank you to you guys. When I go to shows, I can always count on looking around and seeing you guys walking around with your cameras and stuff. You guys are hard workers. You guys love the craft, love the genre. You guys do great work. So thank you guys, and I can't wait to see you again. And we'll give each other big hugs, and it'll be great. So thank you guys again for having us on. We appreciate it.
So Richard, for anybody watching or listening, where can they find us at?
We're at undergroundvideonetwork.com. That's where you can find links to all our socials and our video streams there. We're on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. So just go to Underground Video Network and follow the links.
So on behalf of Richard Catterjohn and myself with the one gaping tooth, I just realized how much I apologize if you're listening to the show right now, just continue to ignore this. But if you're watching, I apologize. Which makes what I normally say at the end of every episode even more important. We hope everybody's staying safe and healthy, and we really hope to see you soon at a comic book convention or a comic book store real soon. And if you would kindly, Richard, please press the button.